But just because they come at you like that doesn't mean you have to give them anything. I've asked them before many times, are you a peace officer? Yes, I am. And have you observed me breach the peace? And they might try saying, oh, well, I'm asking you this. Do you know the definition of a breach of the peace? Have you observed me engage in a tumultuous occasion that might give rise to someone's harm? No, okay, so there's no breach of the peace, is that correct? Okay, no breach of the peace. I'm going to exercise my common law right to refuse intercourse with a peace officer who hasn't observed me breach the peace. Have a great day. And you walk away. They don't do anything, and if they try, they are giving up their peace officer status, and they know this. But they look for people who don't know this, and who when they come up, because they have the badge, they have the gun, we automatically get scared. This goes away when you know who you are. When you realize you're divine, you're dancing magical stardust, and you don't owe him a damn thing, they've got nothing. Are you with me so far? Now, judges are kind of a little bit different, but before you ever end up in front of a judge, the cop will bring you into, probably in front of a JP. You'll know you're stepping up into the higher court because you'll all be on one level. You'll be there with a JP, there'll be a recorder there, a court reporter, there'll be the prosecuting attorney, there might be a sheriff's deputy there, there's you. It's a whole court thing, but you're just sitting at a desk, and you might miss that it's actually a court. And what happens there is what raises you up. If when you're there, you tell them, I'm a free man, I don't consent to any of this, and I've been abducted under the color of law, and this is fraud, they turn white. You only have to do it once, you will never go through it again. That JP is where you want to say those words, though. If you miss that and you end up in court, it's a bit of a different story. They might want you to come in at like 9:30. What I did once, they said, come in at 9:30. This was a few years ago, before I knew as much as I do. I didn't want to go in at 9:30 because it's morning. So I went in at 1:30. And the judge was like, why weren't you here this morning? I said, because I have Alzheimer's and Tourette's, you fucking asshole. And I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't make fun of my medical difficulties. Some things you can do. There is a guy in court. Believe it or not, anyone gives you an order. In a common law jurisdiction, anyone gives you an order, they are automatically liable for a bill. The judge will give you an order and try to get you out of there so you don't tell him, okay, here's my bill. And we have that right to do it. No one gives you an order. Try here, give her an order for some, have her give it to you. Try to refuse the bill when she presents it, you'll get charged with fraud. It works the whole way, all the way up to the courts. There was a guy in court. A bailiff came, as the judge entered, he ordered him to stand. He said, stand up. The guy said, is that an order? The bailiff said, yes, it is. He said, fine. And he pulled out his invoice book, gave him a bill for $1,000, stood up, there you go. Pay me $1,000. The bailiff laughed at him. Walked up to the judge with this, oh, you should see what that fool gave me. The judge looks at him. What happened? He just hears whispers. The bailiff looks at him, white as a ghost. Buddy walked out of that courtroom with a check from the bailiff for $1,000. Yahweh. Orders generate bills. And I don't care who you are, someone gives you an order, have a bill book ready and ask them, is that an order? There was a guy in a court in, I think, Ireland. And he asked these three magistrates, is that an order? And he's pulling out his book, giving me an order. No, it's not an order. What is it, a suggestion? They all ran away, they didn't want to give the order. Orders are liabilities. Someone places a liability on you, they better provide you with remedy as well. Your remedy is you can give them a bill. Most people don't know that, so they avoid it. And if they go 3 days without you presenting a bill, they're going, oh crap, thank God I got past that one. Go in there with a little book. When you do your notice of understanding and intent, put in there, orders generate liabilities for bill. Anyone gives me an order, they have to pay my bill or they're charged with fraud. See if anyone tries giving you an order. They won't. And unless we start figuring out all this, we are going to be the ones who are going to be screwed over. Because I see things getting worse. In court, one thing that Rob Christie taught me, a judge often, you'll go in there and they'll ask you to plead. What they're asking you really is, do you accept our jurisdiction? Do you want us to provide you with this adjudication services? hold your ground and refuse to enter a plea. The judge will enter a plea on your behalf. Tell him, I do not consent to you acting on my behalf. I want the record to reflect that you just entered a plea and thus accepted the position of defendant. It's law. They shit when you do that, and there's nothing they can do. How they can't act on your behalf. If they do enter the plea, the defendant entered the plea. He's the defendant. Just read the record. So you guys are expecting more fun. This would be a lot more fun with the big shiny lights on. You know. So we're going to have a little question and answer period. What I would like to do first is, how about we have a little 5-10 minute break, and then we'll, you guys can figure out your questions and whatnot. I was going to do more comedy, but the last time I did it, I got in a lot of shit. Some people don't like my humor.
Do it anyway.
What's that?
Do it anyway.
Really? Okay, it's one bit I thought it was kind of clever. And it's a true story. I was in Toronto about 10 years ago, and they had this Take Back the Night March, where all these women would get together, and I've got 6 sisters. I believe that as men we should honor, cherish, and love our women, eh? I mean, we should treat them well. I think if you're in a romantic relationship, you should be true. Personally, I would never cheat on any of my sweeties. So I go to this Take Back the Night March trying to support them. And I wanted to march in it. I got surrounded by a bunch of very angry women who were actually like just showering me with hate because I wanted to support them. So I told this joke about attending anyways, but I didn't want to offend them, so I attended wearing a balaclava. After my show, this woman came up and she surrounded me. And she was angry. And she was like, rape's not funny. You can't make rape funny. And there was a part of my brain, I know, I'm not talking about the act, but talking about the act is something else. And to me, that was a challenge. A part of my brain went, really? Okay, well, what about if it was a clown raping a mime in front of a police station? And all the cops were thinking it was just a joke. So they're hanging out the window, screaming at the top of their voice, take it like a mime. And the mime wouldn't be able to do anything about it because of his very poor career choice and his attachment to his craft. Kind of funny now, isn't it? And then she asked me that question, which for the longest time I had never known how to answer. But I realized the trick is to get them in a position where they don't know what to say. So when she asked me, what's wrong with you? I knew to look at her and say, my mom used to make dumplings. And she went, I said, yeah, if we were having chicken, she put almonds in them. If we were having ham, she put cheese in them. And she went, that's nice. I said, I never thought so. I thought they were boiled dough and Mom was just too lazy to bake. At this point, she said, you can stop talking to me now. I said, you're the one who imposed your intercourse on me. You can stop talking to me. So I did that bit in Bancroft. Folks, some people, they do not want you milking their sacred cows and making cheese. They have their little altars of endless personal anguish, and you must bow to them every time you talk about a topic. Because some people, they carry pain in their heart, they've never addressed it, your words brings it to the surface, and they blame you for that pain. And that's what happened in Bancroft. This poor woman, she was very hurt. So I wasn't going to tell that joke, but it's all on you now. But I did realize this, and I think it's something we should all realize, our words have enormous power, and we should accept a certain amount of responsibility for them. I certainly didn't want to hurt anyone with my joke, and to me I was thinking of George Carlin, where he said, fuck you, rape's funny. Imagine Elmer Fudd raping Porky Pig. And from a comic's point of view, I mean, nothing is sacred. There are no sacred cows. I'm milking them all. Okay, so folks, we're going to take a little break and then we'll have a question and answer period. I'd like a great big round of applause for Barton out there.